Hi, welcome to another video of how to play. In this one we'll talk about escape pods, how to do the setup of the game, and we'll also go through the rules and the main mechanics. So, escape pods. It's a game for 1 to 5 players, ages 10 and up, and the duration of the regular game is around 20 to 30 minutes. What is the goal of the game? The goal of the game is to try and rescue as many of your crew members as possible by bringing them to the ship to the refuges situated in 4 nearby asteroids. So as you can see here we have the main ship with the different escape pods, okay? And here we have 4 refuge cards, okay? There's plenty more here. I'm just using a random combination, okay? And each refuge, the deal is that we will have to save our crew members, which are these guys here, okay? Each player has their own one, their own ones. Each player has 10 of them. Sorry, 9, because there's 3 captains, there's 3 scientists, and there's 3 engineers. So let me see. Okay, so that would be the captains, the symbol. Those are the engineers, and those ones are the scientists. So each player has 3 of each, but as you can see, we place them next to the control panel cards of each player, okay? But we place them face down, okay? That's very important. You, at any time during the game, you can look at your own crew members, but if you want to check the crew members of the other players, you will have to take an action, okay? Spend an action. What else we do on the setup? Well, in this case it's a setup for 3 players. The setups for 1 player and 2 players are slightly different, okay? But I'm just going to go over the setup for 3 or more players here. So each player gets 2 control panel cards. This is the basic one, and this is the advanced, basic and advanced, basic and advanced. The 10 crew members. Then in the middle we put the board, we put all the pods. So here you see the pods for 2 crew members, this one for 3, up to 3, and this one, these are called the mini pods, okay? We also put the beacons here, and as I said, we put random 4 random refuge cards. We also have the explosion cards, okay? There's here, I shuffled them and I revealed 1 at random. That's where the first debris will appear. These explosion cards have a number that is correlated to these hexagons here. So in this case, this is number 6. So the hexagon number 6 is this one. The first debris will most likely appear here. Okay. Then we put the explosion tokens here. In this case, that changes depending on the number of players. So in this case, we put it on the 3rd position of each refuge. So that's it. Now we're set up to go, okay? Players, in escape pods, players take turns, and except in the first round, depending on the player count, but most general, you take up to 2 actions, okay? And how do you take an action? Well, you have several actions possible. Each player has the same possible actions, okay? They are here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 basic actions and 4 advanced actions. And anytime that we want to take an action, be it a basic action or an advanced action, we must place one of our crew members from our reserve, okay? Remember that we can always look at our own, okay? We have to assign it to that action on the control panel. As you can see, most actions, they can only host a crew member, except the embark-disembark action that can be used twice in the same turn. And what is the difference between the basic actions and the advanced actions? Well, the crew members that we assign to basic actions will go back, will return to our pool of crew members at the end of our turn. But the crew members that we assign to the advanced actions, they will stay there until one of 2 conditions is achieved. either all those 3 actions have a crew member on them, then we would get those guys back, or we use this special action here. Okay, this when we use this one, we can take back all of our crew members that are assigned to advanced actions. Okay, so with the basic difference explained, let's go to talk about the different actions. Okay, what are the actions? Okay, so on the base actions, the basic actions, we have here on top, we have embark, disembark. This lets us place one crew member from our pool, from our reserve, in one of the pods. Okay, that is either in one of the hangars, okay, any of those 3, okay, or even if they are one space away, okay, or even we can jump from one pod to an adjacent pod, okay. This is, as you can see, is a quite basic action, but it can also be used to disembark. Okay, when can we disembark? Well, when we are on one of the 3 final refuges, we can disembark from an adjacent pod. To disembark in this refuge, we have to be in this hexagon. To disembark here or here, we have to be in the central hexagon, and to disembark here, we have to be on the rightmost top hexagon. I will explain the disembark later and what's the meaning in terms of points of victory. Okay, I will explain that as soon as I finish with the explanation of the actions. So the next action that we can see here is accelerate. Whenever we accelerate, we can move one pod to one neighboring sector. Okay, the sectors are those hexagons here. Okay. You may only use this action on a pod that contains at least one crew member of your color. Okay, so let's say that I'm player white. I could not use accelerate to move this pod here because I don't have any crew member in it. But let's say that it was like this, for example, then I could use a crew member to accelerate and then move this pod in to any adjacent sector, for example here. Okay. Also very important, this lets us explain the concept of pods crash. Okay, whenever we can move to any empty sector when we accelerate, but if there's a debris token, we cannot move into the sector, and if there's a pod that is the same size of the pod we're currently in, the pod that we're moving, or bigger, we cannot move in there. Okay, for example, let's imagine that in this situation we couldn't accelerate to here because there's a bigger pod there, but let's imagine that there was this pod, as we can see, is smaller than the pod that we're moving, so we can actually accelerate this into this pod into this sector, and then we have a chain reaction there, we have a chain movement. We would have to accelerate this pod, so it could go here, 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 here. Okay, never to the space where we're moving from. Okay, it could not go here, and it could not go here because there's a bigger pod there. Okay, this can cause chain movements, and it's a very interesting action that we can do to get free moves. Okay, but because let's say, for example, I'm the yellow player and I accelerate this pod, then I could also for free accelerate this pod, move this one. Another action that we have available, we have the action spy. Okay, with the action spy, we can look at all crew members of one pod or one refuge of your choice. Okay, but you can never reveal those crew members to other players. Okay. The mini pod, it's the last basic action that we have. We can only do this action if there's a mini pod available here in the hangar. Okay, when we do that, we place one crew member to actually use the action, and then a second crew member, let's say I put a captain there. So I put it on the mini pod, and then automatically I put it in any of those three sectors, the one that I chose. So for example, I could start here. If there's already a bigger pod there, or a pod of the same size, you cannot put it there. Okay, so that's for the basic actions. Remember those actions. Whenever we finish our turn, we get back all the crew members that we have in there. So advanced actions, we have 4 of them. These advanced actions, remember that they are different from the basic actions, since we only get back the crew members that we assign here when either these 3 are full or when we use this one. Okay, the first one, it's the action board. It lets us swap one crew member of our color, either from our reserve or from one pod, with one crew member of another color that is in one adjacent pod. You may swap one crew member from your reserve with one crew member that is in an adjacent pod to the hangar. In that case, put the swap crew member back into its owner reserve. Second action, so basically to explain, if I was the blue player, for example, I could exchange this for this. And if the exchange was done here, let's say I'm white and I'm exchange with this one, the yellow one would go back to the player's reserve because he is in the hangar. Okay. Second action that we have here is the action pilot. Okay, this is similar to accelerate. It's basically the same action, except that we can move any pod regardless of whether we have a crew member there or not. For example, if I use the action pilot, I can, and I'm the white player, I can move, I can accelerate this pod. So in this case, for example, I could move it here and move this one here, for example, because there's a pod crash. Okay. Next action, the program action. Well, this is quite complex because it lets us play with different things. One of the options, there's 4 different options that you can choose, and we can only do one of them. So the first option is to place the revealed explosion card at the bottom of the deck and reveal a new one. Okay, you'll see why this is interesting when I explain the end game. We can also place one beacon of our choice. You see those tokens here. Okay, the beacons, they always have the colors of 2 players. Okay, and they are placed between the sectors in the highlighted segments here. Okay, so that is, we can never place it here, nor here, nor here, and so on. So whenever we do program, the second option that we have is to place one beacon of our choice from the reserve on a free beacon space on the board. But with the following particularity, that if you can, you must choose a beacon that includes the color of another player taking part in the game. Okay, that's very important. You can't be really greedy here. And third option of the action program is to move one beacon that is already on the board to another empty beacon space. Okay, or either the last option is to swap 2 of the beacons of the board. Why are the beacons important? Because, as I was saying, the beacons have 2 colors on them. Okay, whenever there's a pod, let's imagine that I'm the blue player. Okay, whenever during your turn there is a pod that contains at least one of your crew members that is next to a beacon of your color, like in this case, this beacon is black, who is not taking part of this game, and yellow, you can move through that beacon without spending an action. So in this case, I'm blue player, I have this pod here, so I could move it for free here. So you move it through the beacon. The beacons help you guide in the navigation, so basically let you do a move for free. Okay, and it's up to you how to properly take advantage of that. And last action that we have on the advanced actions is the action refresh. Whenever you place a crew member here, you retrieve all crew members from your advanced control panel card. So that's the thing I was explaining. So now we've seen an overview of all the different actions, let's go to the end game. How does the end game work, and how do I get points? So as I was saying at the beginning during the setup, we place 4 refuge cards that you can choose or you can place at random. For the first games, we have marked 4 refuges with this symbol. Okay, we recommend you that you start with those. Okay, so each refuge card, I will show you one here, has a specific requirement. Okay, so in this case, for example, this refuge wants a captain, 2 scientists, and 2 engineers, and we know that whoever places a captain here will receive 4 points. The first scientist will give to its owner 3 points, and the second one will give 2 points. And same for the engineer. So the first one will award 3 points, and the second one 2 points. Okay, so how do you get your crew members to there? Well, basically advancing the ships, the pods, and then using the action disembark. Okay, whenever we disembark, we leave let's say that this was here too, and it gets disembarked. Okay, we leave them in the same order as they arrived. Okay, and at the end game, we will reveal them in order. Okay, so for example, this, look, was the captain. It goes under the first part of the captain because he arrived first. And this one is a scientist, so it would go here. Okay, and so on. If a crew member doesn't have a space available, okay, it stays on the left, and as you can see on the left, it stays in place, and those only score 1 point. Okay, what are the explosions tokens? So as you can see, this can interact with the crew members. Okay, because let's say that there's a third crew member that disembarks in this refuge. Well, when the crew member disembarks, we move down that explosion token, and we check the current revealed explosion card. In this case, it's number 6. So, and then we automatically take a debris token and we place it into that sector. Okay, this destroys any pod that was currently there, and the pod goes back to the hangar. And any crew members that it might have contained are delivered to the supply of their owner. Okay, and now this sector is not transitable, so we cannot accelerate or move in any form or fashion to that sector. So when does the game end? Very easy. Well, obviously then we would discard this card and reveal another one. Okay, in this case, the next sector that will explode will be number 8. Okay, as soon as a barrier of debris is formed, like in this case, you can see that the pods can't go through, then that means that that triggers the end game. From that turn onwards, each player has 1 more turn, and only the players who have crew members beyond that barrier can take that extra turn. At the end of those extra turns, we reveal the different crew members in the refuges, and we assign them to the right part of the refuge, scoring the points. Okay, and at the end of the game, whoever has more points is the winner. So, well, basically that was the setup and rules overview for escape pods. A game for 1 to 5 players of ages 10 and up, and around 20 to 30 minutes of duration. Just to remind you, there's also, you can play it with 2 players. Okay, what are the changes? Basically, the pod with space for 3 crew members is not used. Okay, with 3 players, and there's also a solo player mode that you can use, and basically you start with the solo refuges and you play against time. Okay, because every turn there's going to be an explosion. Okay, there's a little bit of rules change, but I don't want to go too deep in this video. So I hope that you like the video. If you like it, you can give us a thumbs up. If you are interested in watching more videos like this, you can subscribe to our channel. And if you have any comments or any question, please feel free to leave it in the comments. Okay, many thanks for watching, and we'll see each other in the next video.